حي على الفلاح.
Can jinn fall in love with human? Yes, they can do. There are numerous stories of spirits or jinns and attach themselves much like humans try to do when they fall in love. A famous Muslim jurist who wrote a treatise on a jinn named the son of Tameya. The story goes that one day in Egypt, a man take his wife to an Islamic exorcist, Raaqi. He believes that she is possessed by a spirit jinn, since she was behaving very strangely. The Raaqi questioned the man as to his wife's behavior. He said that she was being aggressive and angry and would not let him approach her. This was quite out of character for his wife to behave in this way. The exorcist started to read Quranic verses over the woman to find out if one jinn or more had attached themselves to the woman. During the session, the Raaqi found that in fact the woman was possessed by a spirit. He asked the jinn why he had entered the woman's body and if he had any rights to be there. The jinn relates that while he was wandering through the streets of Mecca in the time of Hajj, he sees a beautiful woman with her husband. He followed the couple to their lodging and enters the home with them. The wife undresses and walks naked around the bedroom, upon which the jinn is overcome with lust, that he enters her and attaches himself. He has fallen in love and takes the woman as his wife. For the remainder of Hajj, the jinn does everything he can to keep the real husband away from the woman whose body he has possessed. After completing Hajj, both man and wife return to Egypt with the jinn still having possession of his wife. The story ends with the exorcist finally convincing the jinn to exit the woman's body. The jinn leaves and the woman returns to her normal condition. This is a type of jinn-human relationship whereby the jinn generally force humans into their possession. It is usually women who are prone to this situation. The jinn generally establish this connection, especially with short-tempered, nervous women, following birth giving or during illnesses with high fever or accidents. This is because during such periods, the brain is busy with the extra activity taking place in various parts of the body, and the person is thus unable to competently control their brain. As a result, the jinn take advantage of this weakness and manipulate that part of the brain. They then appear to the person in whatever form they like and force the person to do whatever they desire. In such scenarios, women have reportedly claimed the jinn who appeared to them was an extremely handsome man. The jinn who establish such connections with women or young girls usually marry them and engage in activity during which these women see and feel the jinn with whom they are interacting as a solid physical person, as if it were a human male. However, as the jinn do not have a tangible physical body, inevitably the following question comes to mind. How on earth can a jinn who cannot even become completely physical manage to satisfy a woman with a physical human body? In such conditions, the jinn stimulate the centers in the brain responsible for sexual arousal. All scientists who work in the field of physiology know very well that when an electroshock is applied to a certain center of the brain, it is possible to make a person feel and do whatever you want. In all of these cases, The common trait is that it is always a member of the jinn that forcefully initiate the contact with a human, simply for the purpose of fulfilling their selfish desires. In most of these situations, especially when a connection is made between a human woman and a jinn man, the woman isolates herself from the world around her and retreats into a room. If the jinn with whom she is in contact is an atheist, he prevents her from taking a bath. On the other hand, however, sometimes the opposite takes place, whereby the woman wants to bath all the time. In order to easily deceive humans, the first method the jinn prefer is to cut the person's ties to the source of Islamic knowledge, as the most comprehensive knowledge on the jinn is found in Islamic sources. Once the person is deprived of this knowledge, they become such susceptible, giving the jinn a significant advantage over themselves. Surely, one cannot take precaution against something about which they have no knowledge. The jinn prevent people from acquiring knowledge about them, lest they take precaution. There are many reasons why a jinn would interfere with humans, but there must be a reason. In all the following cases, there are always three possibilities. The jinn may be inside the body of the person, outside it, or going in and out the person's body as he likes. When he is inside the body, he may possess the person and speak through him. This may be permanent, periodic, or occasional. 1. Sorcery. The most frequent reason is sorcery. Sorcery does not need to be accompanied by a jinn, but jinns are sometimes sent to strengthen the effect of sorcery. For example, to break up a couple, the jinn can give the man a disgusting or frightening appearance in the eyes of his wife. To prevent someone working, they will get the employer, will reject him, or not trust him. But the most that jinns do is to mentally disturb the victim. He will get no ending thoughts and obsessions, as if someone is speaking in his head all day long. They also often play a role in illnesses and physical pains to disturb the body's natural functioning. Jinns sent by sorcery are forced to do the job. They may be good, true Muslims, or wicked and unbelievers. The good ones will do the job with reluctance, and the wicked one will add more. In Africa, particularly, there is a long tradition of cooperation between jinns and sorcerers. As the original religion is worshipping statues and jinns through river, wood, or sea, and sacrificing animals for them, and offering various gifts, jinns have developed a science of serving sorcerers and accomplishing astonishing things for them. So there will be jinns with nearly every sorcery. For example, the victim could completely lose his mind by sending thousands of jinns into him. So nearly all the jinns you find in ill people are professionals working for sorcerers. 2. Revenge. Jinns live around us. There are many in disused and uninhabitable places. Dirty and humid places are especially habitated because jinns find their food in the remaining meals and excrements. They are also especially in old and ill-maintained houses, but also in new and well-maintained ones. By living around us, they avoid us. But a single brutal action without saying Bismillah, or throwing something away, or pouring hot water might reach them and harm them, or cause handicap or death. They can retaliate or avenge one of their relatives by beating the person who inadvertently harmed them. The person may be partly paralyzed or heavy. He may be anxious or depressed or other manifestations. This often goes with nightmares. The person is beaten or prosecuted by scaring people. Jinns have less reason and more passion than we do. They have three strong passions: pride, love, and vengeance. Jinns can devote his whole life doing nothing but retaliating against a person. 3. Love. This happens when we undress without saying Bismillah. Jinns see us naked and can be sexually stimulated like when we see undressed persons, because there is a kind of compatibility between jinns and human beings. I mean, if you just undress without saying Bismillah, that endangers you to catch jinns. But having any kind of forbidden or shameful activity is an open door for jinns to join in, and they may get linked to the person. Most of the time, the person will have dreams. Generally, these dreams are not difficult, but rather pleasant for men, because the Jinniya appears as the ideal woman for the man. If it is a woman subject to the Jinn, if she refuses or resists, she can be and blocked. Many people feel this. We feel blocked while going to bed, and we are freed as soon as we make a move or we pronounce the name of Allah. The Jinn that appears in the shape of the husband to cheat her, and once the act is over, she realizes but it was not him. When the person is married, the Jinn sometimes accepts the spouse, but most of the time he does not bear him. Therefore, the person will not bear him too. This happened mostly to women. The wife may be upset, cry, and it'll end up in dispute.